Welcome to Be Continued. We're your host. I'm Christian.
And I'm Caleb.
In today's episode, we're going to be doing our Wildcard weekend takeaways, but instead of the normal three, we're just going to go through each game. We're going to give our biggest takeaway of the game. So the first game we're going to be doing is the Raiders versus Bengals, and I'll let Caleb have his takeaway.
Okay, so I want to clarify, when I made my pick last week, my picks were a little lower than they usually are percentage-wise. Usually my win percentage would be a lot better. My picks are usually more correct. But there are a couple games that I picked just because I didn't want to pick the same thing as everybody else. And I picked with my heart. Picked what I wanted to be different. And that's why sometimes you shouldn't just do something to be different, because I didn't think the Raiders would really beat the Bengals, but I thought they could. And I think the Raiders were just a little bit overmatched. I think the Raiders are a good team. I think they're better than maybe they got like credit for. But they had to go through a lot of stuff with the Ruggs, with what's the other guy's name that got released? The other first round corner, Arnett, and losing John Gruden, pretty significant in the middle of the season. But I see these rumors about like getting rid of Derek Carr.
Crazy.
Why would you do that?
I hope you do.
Derek Carr is a phenomenal quarterback, and he is the least of the Raiders' problems.
We'll take him here in Indy
to get rid of him. I don't blame you. I would.
But before I give my takeaway, I will just say one thing. Caleb, who's your favorite head coach the Rams ever had?
Favorite head coach Rams ever had?
Well, in the past 20 years, who's your favorite one?
In the last 20 years. I don't know. Probably Sean McVay.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say Mr. 8-8 Jeff Fisher, because I was going to say you and him are just alike.
Nah.
You know your win percentage is 500.
Nah, he's not 8-8. That's some 7-9 bull.
But anyway, my takeaway from that game is you never bet against a good quarterback. And yes, is Derek Carr a good quarterback? Absolutely.
Yeah, but
he ain't Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is nasty for one thing, and his weapons are so much better.
No, we can't. we can't go through and not acknowledge that Joe Burrow have some help from the refs. Maybe.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
That was a weird play. Honestly, like watching that play, I don't think it made a bit of difference.
No,
like,
they were up 20-7 without.
Well, I mean, I don't think the whistle made a difference. Like if they hadn't have blown the whistle, he was still wide open. Like if you watch the replay. But the thing is, the rule says once the whistle happens, it's a dead play. So, it sucks that happened.
But if I was going to describe this game with like 3 words, Joe is magic.
He's pretty good.
You know who he reminds me of? And that play, actually, I always said this, and then that play even clarified it even more. To me, he's just Joe Montana. I mean, because, here's why. He's cool under pressure, and there's just something about him. There's this moxie. Is he an athletic freak? No. Does he have an arm that's going to blow you out of this world? No. But his confidence.
Yeah, I think Joe Montana did kind of have those things a little more, though. He was a better athlete.
No.
Yeah, he was a better athlete. Yeah, he could move around a little bit more. The only thing that scares me about Joe Burrow is the long-term thing with the knee injury, and the offensive line isn't great yet.
He's already sacked 51 times.
So that does concern me, but we'll see.
But getting off of that game, we'll go to the game that was the only one I got wrong, and the one he also got
wrong.
Where you got the Bills and Patriots. Well, in our defense, the forecast said it was going to be snowing.
You did influence you only influenced my score decision. I thought the Patriots were going to win, and we looked pretty dumb. Would the Bills have like 5, 6, 7 straight scoring drives?
No. They became the first team ever to have a flawless game. And what that means is no field goals, no punts, just touchdowns. After touchdown, after touchdown, after touchdown. That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And Josh Allen did what I didn't think he was capable of doing. Playing good football in playoff time. Because up to this point, he hadn't played good. But if my takeaway is, I don't care what anybody says. You can say Pat Mahomes this or Justin Herbert that. There ain't nobody as good as Josh Allen.
Stop it.
Stop it. Nobody has a strong
overreaction theater right here.
40 touchdowns. The past 2 years, you put up the numbers. Who has better numbers?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's a stud. No doubt about it. But he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
Can you believe they put Lamar Jackson in the Pro Bowl over Josh Allen?
Well, yeah. I mean,
that was laughable.
Well, the Ravens were going to win the division easily, and then Lamar Jackson got hurt, and then they lost all this.
Wait a minute. Excuse me. Can you go up the week? What was it?
The Ravens were going to win probably 11 games. They were going to win ugly because they're winning all those games.
The Bengals would have won 11 games if they didn't bench their starters the last week.
No, I have no doubt the Ravens would have been a playoff team if Lamar had played.
They beat the Ravens twice with Lamar.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you.
Hocus
That's
pocus.
why Lamar.
What's your takeaway of the game?
My takeaway of the game is people are going to make this about a lot of things other than what it is. Like they're going to use it to criticize Bill Belichick, criticize Mac Jones, compare him to Tom Brady for some insane reason. But the Bills are just so much more talented than the Patriots.
Yeah.
At every level of the game, they have significantly more talent. The only place the Patriots are even close with them is the offensive line.
Yeah.
Patriots have a good offensive line that didn't play that good in that game.
Nope.
Actually, they didn't play well at all. Patriots have one elite pass rusher, and it seemed like he was the only guy playing on the defense. Mm-hmm. And even he was not much of a factor in the game.
They were double teaming.
Yeah. And not everybody's Aaron Donald. So it was just the Bills are a much better team, and they finally played like it.
Oh, yes. And I will say this. The Bills are hitting their stride at the perfect time. And if I'm Kansas City, I'm scared because remember what happened last time they played? The Bills killed them. But the Chiefs might use that as motivation, but I can't wait.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a great team like that twice. And I think the Chiefs are going to come in. I'm not worried about the Chiefs.
We're not going to give our predictions yet. Numbskull here doesn't remember what we're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows where I stand on the Chiefs.
And I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But our next game is the game we actually agreed on the most, and that was Eagles Buccaneers. He couldn't.
That one.
We were. I will give an inside story. We were a tad bit nervous that we had some jinx going on after the Patriots game, and we were using that game as the teller. Luckily, for our sake, Brady was up 31-0, and then we were happy. We both turned the game off, or at least I did, and then they scored 15 points.
Yeah.
Which means Jalen Hurts just does what he always does and scored garbage points. But I'll allow Caleb to give his take.
Yeah, my fantasy team, which actually did win our fantasy league, by the way. I did win. But our team name was Jalen Hurts is a garbage time quarterback. That was my team name. Because in week 2 or 3, I was winning and I was going to win easy, but the Eagles were getting blown out. So Jalen Hurts all of a sudden puts up 2 or 3 meaningless touchdowns and I lose that fantasy matchup. That's who Jalen Hurts is as a quarterback. Jalen Hurts is, to me, he's a perfect backup. If you've got an actual good quarterback that can actually throw, that can be your starter, start him, and if something bad happens during the game, you're not screwed if he goes down because Jalen Hurts can come in and play a good couple quarters of football when somebody's not prepared for him. But if you watch that Bucs game, if I was Devontae Smith and I heard the Eagles double down that Jalen Hurts is my 2022 starting quarterback, I'd be demanding a straight. That dude was running wide open half the game, and he wouldn't even look at him. And then when he did look at him, he threw ducks that the defense took instead.
No.
Jalen Hurts he's a good guy. He's a competitor. I respect that. I do respect that. But he's just not a good quarterback, and he's not going to be a good quarterback. And if you're the Eagles, you gotta decide: do we want to just stick with him because we picked him and we're stubborn? Jalen Reagor, anyone? But Jalen Hurts is just not the guy. And the Eagles, I don't know. If I was the Eagles,
I'd go get Russell Wilson.
I would go get Russell Wilson, or I would go get Deshaun Watson.
Or
if the Raiders are stupid enough to trade Derek Carr, I'd go get Derek Carr.
Derek Carr would turn Devontae Smith into a top 5 receiver.
And you know what? If the Eagles can bring most of the team they had this year back, I'd trade all 3 of those first.
Oh, yeah.
To get whatever the quarterback is, because they're a quarterback away from being really good. They're better than Dallas already. If you put a good quarterback, a competent quarterback, they're better than Dallas.
Because the coach is better, the quarterbacks are close though. Because I'll get into that takeaway later. But my takeaway was, as he said, he is who we thought he was. And what we mean by that is, to me, my comparison for Jalen Hurts has always been the same. He's Tim Tebow with just less winning. And I hate to say it, and I'll even go on a limb and say this. Tim Tebow had a stronger arm than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has the weakest arm out of all starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I've never seen a quarterback struggle to throw a ball over 15 yards like I have him. His athleticism is amazing. But my point to all Eagles fans has been consistent. When has the quarterback position been based on athleticism? The position of quarterbacking is getting the ball from point A to point B. It's not about how fast you can run, because if that was the case, Tom Brady's not the GOAT. But he is.
I don't think he's the GOAT. That's not the topic for the day.
7 Super Bowls say otherwise.
Not the GOAT.
But
7. He doesn't have 7.
He doesn't
He
have
has
7?
7? I thought he's got 6.
No, he has 7. He has 6 in New England, 7.
I just wasn't counting the one that doesn't count because they stole it from the Rams. That was an illegitimate Super Bowl.
Super Bowls don't lie. What happened in 2018?
Marshall Faulk said so. Torrey Holt said so. Those are Hall of Fame players that have played the game that realized that it was an illegitimate Super Bowl.
But
so they
I'm not going to overreact. The one thing I will say, and this is a takeaway from the whole weekend, and I understand some people think this is hocus pocus. The 7th seed needs to be erased.
Yeah, that was a dumb idea.
The 7th seeds got destroyed this weekend, and there's no reason that should even be allowed because players are just going to get injured because of it. But the next game, which was personally my favorite game of the weekend, I don't know if it was yours, but it was the Niners-Cowboys. Again, I was right, he was wrong. I'm going to be bragging about this for a while. But what else can I say? The Cowboys are what they've been for the past 27 years and counting. A team that shows you all this potential in the regular season, and then when the playoffs hit, they run. And I feel bad for the Cowboys fans because they played bad the whole game. Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. I don't feel bad for you Cowboys fans. I can't stand y'all. Y'all talk too much. You're whiners. We didn't get the foul. I couldn't care. You guys are right next to my team on the bench. Have fun. And may I say, there's 3 $40 million quarterbacks. You got Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Dak Prescott. There's an outlier among the bunch. 2 of those quarterbacks combined for 10 touchdowns, only 1 turnover, and 2 wins, and both teams put up over 40 points. The third guy was 23 of 43, 178 yards, 2 total touchdowns, 2 fumbles. I'm picking a fumble, and they didn't even score more than 17 points. Because I don't care that the Niners scored 23 points. The defense, when they needed, got stops at the end of that game. And before we bring up the whole penalty thing, Dak had the ball with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. You can't tell me he couldn't go down the field and complete. No, he went 3 and out, punted the ball right back to the Niners. And then if it wasn't for Jimmy Garoppolo going full Jimmy G, they would have never gotten the ball back in the first place.
Well, it was honestly when I picked the Cowboys and 49ers, I just picked the Cowboys because I thought maybe they'd come out playing hard because everyone was picking the 49ers to beat them. But I knew that the 49ers were a more physical, a tougher, and honestly a better football team than the Cowboys because the Cowboys are just like, they're all show and they're no-go. Like they didn't beat anybody good all year. They're in the playoffs because they played in the NFC East, which had -1 good team in it. The Washington team was ridiculously bad. They were starting Taylor Heineke. No disrespect to Taylor Heineke, but come on now.
He's no NFL quarterback.
He got Jalen Hurts for the Eagles, and the Giants were playing Mike Glennon and Jake from State Farm towards the end, and then they were running QB sneaks on 3rd and 9. So the NFC East was just like a nobody wanted a division, so the Cowboys got free wins there.
6-0.
Yeah, and they got to blow people out.
They were 5 and 6 versus everybody else. And here's a stat that I want to bring in before. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but Dak's career, ready? He's 25-7 versus the NFC East, 25-24 versus everybody else.
You know what I think? I think you brought up my guy Jeff Fisher earlier. Dak Prescott is the Jeff Fisher
of quarterbacks. I agree.
He is like good to an extent. He's good, but he's not good enough. I mean, Jeff Fisher turned the Rams around. Everybody gives Sean McVay the credit for turning the Rams around. No. If you watch the Rams pre-Jeff Fisher, that team had no fight. That team had no talent. They stunk. Jeff Fisher brought them in. They were smacking people in the mouth. They were playing hard. They just weren't quite good enough. If you'd have put Sean McVay as Jeff Fisher's offensive coordinator, they'd have won Super Bowls. They would have, I've got no doubt. But Sean McVay wasn't willing to come in and take him over the top. Dak Prescott is talented. He's good. He's fun to watch against bad teams. But I said good. He's not great. He's better than average. He's not a $40 million, $75 million cap hit, whatever it is. He doesn't belong there.
All right, I'm going to bring this back. You said he's good.
He is good.
No.
He's good.
No, he is average at everything except intangibles.
No,
he has elite talent around him that makes him look good. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. You give any other quarterback those weapons, they're putting up.
Pat Mahomes has significantly better weapons than that.
He has Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and
Tyreek Hill is better than anyone you mentioned.
Excuse me, he had more drops this year than the whole Cowboys roster.
That doesn't matter.
More
drops means he's open. That means he's got the chance to catch the ball.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? We're done with the Cowboys game because
Kelsey's better than anybody Dak's played with.
Okay, I'll give you that. That's understandable.
He's better than average. That's all I'm saying.
But the last game
better
of
than Carson Wentz. I said what I said.
I can't even argue anymore. It hurts. But the next game we're going to talk about is the Steelers-Chiefs game. And I don't know about you, but I think we're just going to...
Yeah, that was a free one.
We're not really going to give a takeaway. I mean, here, is it okay if I say this? Our takeaway is, thank you, Ben, for a great career. Hasta la vista. Have a nice day.
I have one minor thing to say.
Oh, Lord.
Ben Roethlisberger, if he was on a good team, he could play another year.
Oh, yeah.
Dude's got a strong arm still. I think I told you, but when you watch like Drew Brees, even Phillip Rivers, not as much, and like Peyton Manning, when those guys were at the end, I felt like I could throw more than them. But Roethlisberger is still like throwing 50 yards, like on a rope, and I'm like, okay, but he can't really move anymore, and his O-line is terrible.
Because they got rid of all the good old linemen in the offseason.
I don't know what's going on with the Steelers. If I was Mike Tomlin, I'd jump ship.
He said, I'm a Steeler for life.
Yeah, he said that.
But now we get into Caleb's favorite game of the entire weekend.
Best game of the weekend.
And probably my non-favorite. If you take out the Cowboys game, it was mine too. It was Cardinals-Rams. And my favorite part of it was, Carson Wentz, you're not the only guy that throws red zone interceptions to pick sixes. Thank you so much, Lord. I needed that. But also, do you want to hear the funniest stat ever? Kyler Murray became the shortest quarterback in NFL history to throw a pick six. Some jokes just write themselves. You know this? It's hilarious. But Kyler proves me right every single time. Except, well, sometimes. Unless when I'm choosing for him, then he proves me wrong. But when I'm talking bad about him, he just proves me right. I say he's too short to be an NFL quarterback. Cha-ching. I say he's not competitive enough. Cha-ching. I don't think he's a good leader. That showed. If you're a good leader, your team's going to put up more than 11 points. Because I don't care what the scoreboard says. The Cardinals have more talent than to be putting up 11 points. And I don't know what Cliff Kingsbury was doing. Do you not know who Troy Reader is? You could have been attacking him the whole game with Zach Ertz. And you're running the ball on a 2-minute drive. Oh, Cliff. And you get to keep your job. I know Caleb's happy. But, I'm just going to stop talking here because this isn't even my team. Caleb... Take the floor because I know it's a good day.
Man, if I was Cliff Kingsbury, I'd be really regretting not taking that Oklahoma job. Because that was a heck of a job. And it sounds like they wanted him. And I think this is what the Cardinals are. I think this is the best they can possibly do. Would they have done better with DeAndre Hopkins? Maybe. Because a great receiver makes a significant difference.
Is Hopkins a 23-point difference?
No, I said better. I didn't say would he have made it a game. But what you also saw in that game, it's easy to criticize Kyler Murray. Easy to talk about, oh, he's too short, all this.
Am I wrong?
The Rams came out and dominated. They dominated both lines of scrimmage. And if you watch a football game, I don't think I've ever seen a football game where one team dominated both lines of scrimmage and they lost. The Rams came out there. And maybe it's partially because they got embarrassed in the second half against the 49ers. Yep. Personally, I'm not sure if they really got embarrassed or if they just kind of were like, yeah, we don't care. In the second half against the 49ers, it's hard to say.
Well, I think they saw because if they won, they would have probably had to play a harder matchup.
Yeah, so I don't think that they were really going like all in that game. But man, they were out there and they were in the backfield. Von Miller might be the difference maker. He might be the best move Les Snead has made because
SGM, yeah, I agree.
Just putting him because you've got Leonard Floyd on one side who can really get after it, who has just insane games. Just ask Russell Wilson; he had like 6 sacks on Wilson last year, something crazy. And so when you got Wilson on one or Floyd on one side, you got Aaron Donald in the middle, and then you got Von Miller on the other side. Come on, the Rams pass rush is really good and. Honestly, I'm not going to get too far ahead in the picks. What has hurt Tom Brady in the past?
A pass rush. But we're going to save those for the predictions. Rush. Until next time.
To be continued.
Have a nice day.